Hi guys, Brain here. This is kind of going to be the light side version of the other video that I made where I was talking about, like, you know, Survivor streamers manipulating people to make them play differently so they can have, you know, better matches. This is the bright side of this video, and I want to talk about like I talked briefly about it in that video where I was talking about like, oh well, I watch Survivor streamers because of this, but I feel like it's beneficial for you to watch Survivor streamers as a killer main. And I think that's a really, really good skill for you to climb up the ladder and become the best killer main you can be, is by actually just watching a bunch of Survivor streamers. Most people, they think the pipeline is like, hey, if I'm a good killer main, I watch good killer mains. I'll watch Utz, I watch Tofu, I watch Scott when Scott played Dead by Daylight. He's on an Elden Ring kick right now. But like, that's, you know, that's fair, and that will take you a long way. I mean, there's plenty of things, like, I didn't do the lookup tech to like bait Dead Hard until I watched Dots. You know, like there's a lot you can gain from that, and you should definitely still do that. That's still like a good thing to do. That still makes a lot of sense. But I want to also cue you in into what I believe would be an even better way to, not an alternative, but in addition, another great thing to do to become an even better killer main, which is to watch Survivor mains. And here's why. Before we get started today, make sure that you do the like down below with the thumbs up if you want to like the video to support me. And if you want to see more of my daily uploads, make sure you subscribe only so that you actually get my videos on your YouTube homepage. So yeah, let's get on with the video. Okay, so why is watching Survivor streamers fundamentally good for you as a killer main? And you may be like, oh, I just want to listen to their entitlement for like hours and hours on end, which is fair. Which is fair. You will have to deal with that. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're going to have to deal with a lot of like weird perspectives. Like, is Dead Hard even that strong? Is Dead Hard even that strong? I mean, come on, it's not even that bad. Like, you're going to hear that a lot. You're going to hear a lot of like weird out there takes that are just really wild, like really wild, and you're just gonna have to deal with that. You're just gonna have to seat that, and yeah, it's just odd. But what you are going to gain is something that is irreplaceable. So DBD is a two-sided game. It takes two sides to tango, and each side has its meta, right? And they're non-transferable. They're non-transferable. You can't take like the fundamentals you learn as killer playing like hillbilly or trapper and then go play survivor and you're like, yeah, now I'm a good survivor. Those things don't transfer. Those things don't go back and forth. Being a good killer does not make you a good survivor. Except for one thing. If you switch over to survivor after playing killer, you are going to be a better survivor than somebody who just started playing survivor and has not played killer at all. Why? Because you know what killers like to do. Because you are one, right? And I do this all the time. When I'm playing against Blight, Blights have a hard time catching up to me because I play Blight. I know like what I'm getting. I'm not a good Blight. Don't take me out. I'm not a good Blight yet. I'm working on it. But like I know like, okay, some of these things are hug techable. So like I need to get away from that tile because I know you can hug tech that and come around and hit me. Or like I know what hug tech is good at Shaq. So I'm going to like hide or like stutter a little bit while I'm walking and move somewhere else where he would like to be because I know how he plays because I play him. Same thing with like Hillbilly. I know what tiles have like low collision, like the rocks on Ormond have very low collision, very good for curving. So if I have to make my final stand somewhere as Survivor, I'm not going to stand at one of those. I will rather go to like a more formal tile that exists on like Ormond. Just little stuff like that helps you understand how to play Survivor better. Even if it comes down to something as fundamental as, oh, killers like to hide their red stain around corners, so I need to be more careful. That stuff directly contributes you to being a better Survivor without even having to play Survivor. Like literally, if you guys like mostly play killer and like don't play Survivor at all, I urge you to go play a Survivor match and see how much you can kind of just like residually do just because you play killer so much that you understand what killers like to do. But that goes two ways. If you watch Survivor streams, you're going to see their meta. You're going to see what they like to do, what's good plays, what's bad plays, and where they typically like to be and what they like to do at what times, right? Because they have a general idea of what is good for their side. And the way you gain that is by watching them and watching them and watching them. Because just like you as killer, like, hey, yo, I gotta like, sometimes when I'm at a tile, I gotta turn backwards and hide my red stain. That way I can confuse the survivor. They have fun text like that too. And you have no idea that those even exist until you actually start, you know, taking in survivor content. and getting, familiarizing yourself and educating yourself in the things they like to do. Even if it's something just as like as simple as like positioning. Like, you would be surprised how much about Survivor positioning I have learned just by watching Survivor streamers. It is like actually phenomenal how much I have learned about where survivors like to be and when, just based upon watching Survivor streams. Like, even if you're consciously like not talking about it aloud, like it just kind of seeps into your brain. You're like, oh, this is about when survivors like to come back for the save. I can go challenge the heal. I can break up the heal now, and that's why you see like a lot of like high skill based matchmaking, high MMR killers will go back to hook a lot. It's not because like they're cheating. Like, they just kind of like know when it's about time to save, right? Because there's like a weird timer in your head that goes off that's kind of instinctual. You don't even think about it. It's like, okay, I've left the hook, and now my 32 meter tear radius has been off the hook. Like, they wouldn't be able to hear it if they unhooked for a while now. And after a certain point, you're like, okay, they're probably going to unhook now. And if I'm not already in a chase, that's a guaranteed 2 survivors that I know of in a certain place. And you get that like internal clock in your head, and then suddenly you're being super efficient just because you just happen to watch Survivor streamers and know what they like to do at certain times. Like, it is extremely beneficial. So I would say if you're in a killer rut, or you've been like outplayed a lot by survivors lately, like, just start taking some time to just watch some Survivor content. And I don't mean like those super crappy spliced up like looping compilations or like haha blind compilations. Like, watch like actual full matches. That way you get the full context of like what's going on, because then you as a killer will be able to get those hard reads on the survivors, because you watch them all the time. You know what they like to do, you know what they're up to, and you can make those adjustments accordingly, and that will make you an even better killer. So if you're in that rut, take that time to watch some Survivor content, and trust me, it'll put you in a lot better space, and also will probably make you better at defending some of the weird wacky takes that they have. I have listened to some things that just scare me. But yeah, thank you for watching, friends. Hopefully you've been having a good day today. Thank you for spending part of it with me. I don't think I have anything else for you, so thank you again, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. And if I don't, I'll see you when I see you, friends. Goodbye.